and welcome back to Oakley Hour. Today we are continuing our Sylvia garden build, and we are on day 9. This is where we are so far. So we have like the coffee shop, bits and pieces back here. We did some lace curtains which move. Surprised there's not a glass window on here, but they haven't. And equally they do have a glass window here because this one it's a little stiff. There you go, lifts up. And that is where we are. So today we are going to be doing a lot of work on here of the stuff that we have made previously. So it's a very exciting day of finally getting everything put together. So let me get ready for that and see you in a mo. Okay, and this is what we are starting with. So, glue to hand. Our first port of call is to put, oh, you can't even see what we're starting with. Oh, it's there, and here. Alright, our first port of call is to put our little birdhouse, which they call a mailbox because it has the word post on the bottom. And we're going to be putting that in, so let's get that done. And does it show any particular way it's facing? Yes, forward. So it's going to go something like so. These are actually quite hard to put in, to be honest with you. Let me put it that way and you'll have better view. Or do you? No. There you go. So give it a good wiggle. It will be down. I'm not even sure half this stuff really needs glue when it's so tough. It's not quite in, you know. But it is a tough little hitter here. And when it's got all the stuff on it, I don't want it all coming off either. Excuse me. Okay, so there we have her in. Her, he, it. It's a little birdhouse. And I think my green's got a little bit flattened on this side, so I'm going to put a little bit, I've got plenty of it, a little bit more on there while we're on here. And I just happen to have that lying around. So why not, before it gets used somewhere else. Oh, go back. Go back. Alright, so... Oh, come on. Okay, I should probably get my tweezers ready here. Alright, next we are going to put some flowers in. And we won't be needing the wood glue for that particular part, but we will be needing wood glue again quite soon. And we are going to put in our this one here, along with some green stuff along here. So let me turn that around a bit for you. I'm going to cut the end off of this so they lie a bit flatter, because they don't lie particularly flat otherwise. So it'll probably fall apart, which it wants to. And I'm going to use a bit of tacky glue for this. As I get it everywhere. And then pop you in, which is now falling apart, by the way. We can fluff it out afterwards, although you're not going to need to, because what comes in front of here is the bench, so it's not going to be staying long. Okay, let's leave it lying down for 2 ticks even. Gosh, get a little bit of this moss. We're going to be putting that in there. Scissors to cut it off because it's easier that way. And that's going to go where everything wants to stick to me. I go here. I've only just started. like so. Now it should hopefully stay up. Now it's got a little bit of extra support. And then we are going to pop some pink bits and pieces on it, basically. So let's get and do that. Excuse me. So I got a few little pink ones, some white there, and oh, I see there's another piece here which I do not have out, which is I don't know that I have the don't know that I have the one they originally gave me. You know what we used for the curtain ties, which could very well be where I was putting all this to dry. I don't have any more like that, but I do have several other little ones like this, so I'm just going to use those. So you can basically use anything you want, really. So I'm going to use this one, and I know that there wasn't many pink flowers over from some of the other stuff we did, like making these big ones in the first place. So, like, I mean, I said to you that generally they give plenty. They generally do. But in this case, so it kind of looks like this before. So, but I think I'm going to use those other pink ones as well. So if you do happen to have any leftovers from other projects that you've done, this is the time that you can just dump them on, basically. And get rid of some of this to the trash. Okay, so we are going to just, I think we will put on some beacon because it dries clear and we're just plonking things in different spots. If I can get it out, there it goes. So all you want to do is put a little bit of this on your moss. So it looks quite a lot, but it will dry clear. And then you can, when I can get this off, wait, come off, you can decorate it as you want. So I'm going to use, what am I going to use? I'm going to use one of these purple little things to push that green back in, because it's wanted to join me with the glue. Well, it really does want to join me. Right, let me just have a look what this is doing over here. Okay, so don't try and rectify the problem, obviously. Okay, so just going to dump some of these on there and hope some of that glue's still around, really. Okay, just, you can see what I'm doing. Just moved it slightly so I've got a better angle, really. I'm going to cut off some of this. Just like that. Use a little bit of this. Really does need a bit more glue, but I think I'm going to put it on after I've got some of this on. And then a little bit of white to wake it up a bit. Lots of pink on here. I don't have any of the bigger ones left. I used them all in these big bunches over here. These when we made these ones. They didn't provide that many of those. I've always said that they provide so many of these things and there's lots of leftovers, and there I am running out of a particular type. So I'm going to use tacky glue for this, which is going to look weird until it dries. But at least it's not stringing, she says. Oi, go back down. I'll get that on there in a second. Whoops. Well, okay. This is not the answer, guys. Don't do this. Making a right mess everywhere now. Doesn't look pretty, does it? I don't think it looks pretty. We're going to need all that stuff again. Right, let me get cleaned up. Okay, so that's where we are. Obviously that has to have time to dry, and it will dry clear. I know it's got a great big white splodge in the middle. Next, what we are going to do is put a bench on, which we are going to be putting right in front of it, like so. Does it have any holes for it to go in? I don't believe it does. I think it literally just goes in here. So it covers pretty much up what we've just done. So I guess it didn't overly matter. I mean, it still show that this one that we arranged, the one that I can't pronounce. So I'm going to put some wood glue on the bottom of here. And it's up to you how you have it. I'm going to have it at a slight angle, I think, looking out to the garden. And it is quite close to the plants, so you can see if you tilt it up like this that there's plants underneath there, which makes me now wish, I think I'm going to do it actually, put some of the plants, you're not going to see a thing of this, at the bottom of it. Let me see if I can show you. And then I'll just get this done rather than hiding, you know, what I'm doing. So I'm just put a little bit of B7000 I've used this time along the bottom here, along here, and I'm going to pop some flowers in there because you can see that underneath that bench, and then I'll put that bench back on because it's got the wood glue on it waiting for me. Alright, bear with me. Alright, and this is really on your own preferred style, so you could do more, you could do less, you know, it's if you've got the stuff to do it. The problem I've always had with these builds is not knowing what I'm going to need it for later. I can't calculate it in my head as to how much I'm actually will be needing. So you want to make sure you leave a gap on this side here, because that's where the main wall is. So you can see that there's a little notch here. There's another one there. And that's where the main wall is going to go. So you want to make sure that that's down. Interesting that this isn't balanced. There we go. All right, next we are going to put in, where have I put it? A little fencing. This is just plain wood. If you wanted to colour it, I mean, obviously you could. So I am just going to struggle probably. It seems to be my way right now. And I'm just going to get wood glue going for this. So it starts to take a little bit. And then we are going to put more of these sort of flowers in, but we're also going to put some of the other ones in, which are going to go in first, that we have previously made. And then we're going to make more for it. It's a very crowded one, this one. So this is, you know, have your heart's content. This little flower bed is, you can put pretty much as you want in there. And that bench is right in the way, so you can move out for a moment. And we'll re-glue you in a second. I mean, wood glue takes like 20 minutes or so, so. These are really tight fits, guys, just so that you're aware. Give it lots of wiggles. And you're not going to see if it's all the way down unless you know I guess yourself, but goodness, that all went in fine. And some of them just don't have much of an area to grip, really. Okay, I'm trying to break this one, obviously. Let me give that a wiggle. And then that bench can go back in before it does totally dry. I might put a little bit more wood glue on there, just to make sure, because it does soak into the wood a bit. Right. Let's give that another go. There you go, mate. So although wood glue does dry clear, sometimes I have found that it can be a bit splodgy in places. So I'm just going to push that in a tiny bit more. I want to make sure it covers it. Alright, so we are back to there. So now we are going to be doing this flower bed. First of all, we are going to be putting in what are we going to be putting in? We're going to be putting in more moss. wherever I put that, over there. And we're putting in another one of these, and we are also putting in how many of those we putting in? We're putting in one of these, what they call that snake plant, this one. It doesn't say how many, so I'm assuming one. And you can again design them how you want. So let's get some glue in here. And this time, lesson learned, I'm going to use B7000. Because the rest of it ended up being quite the pickle, didn't it? And then we're going to make 2 plants to go in here, which hopefully won't take too long. I don't think we're going to get finished today, but I think we're going to make some really good headway for it. So I'm going to pop that one there, the long one. I wonder what the others are being used for. It only says to use one, so I guess I'll just use one. And I'm going to cut off the bottom of our little plant here again. So it's a bit of a flatter surface. And I just squished it too. There we go. Pop you out so that you're like this. And then I'm going to put some more of this moss in. I don't know how much more of this moss we need. Probably more than what I've just cut off there. And we'll get that in place, and we will make a couple more plants for it. It's got all caught up on the leaves of my other ones. Wow. Okay, guys. Right, if that's the way it's all going to go down. Get off me. Patience. My patience is wearing right now. I can feel it. I'm almost there. Okay, so what I'm going to do this time is put, you can see it's got it all over this snake plant that they call. I mean, I know a spider plant turns upside down and you have all the little babies off it, but it's kind of very similar to this, isn't it? Doesn't feel like there's enough moss in here either, by the way. I don't think there is. Right, what we'll do is put a bit of this over the top and put a bit more on. And then I'm going to make the other flowers, and then we'll fill it with the pink and white that we were using on the other one. But we'll make the other flowers first. So I'm just going to put a bit more of this on there, if I can get it off of me. It's not even like I've got loads of glue on my hands. I think it's just attaching to... I get quite dry skin. I think it's just attaching to that. Never thought I had dry skin until I started doing modelling. I think it's all the times you wash your hands. Right, I'm going to get this on, then I'm going to go and have a coffee because it's like driving me nuts. Right, let me see if I can hold it with something other than tweezers and other than my hands. No, it just wants to attach to everything. Alright, drop it. Drop. No, not there. Good gravy. I know it's an inanimate object, but I swear it's like this naughty child or something right now. It's misbehaving. Right, okay, I'll be back. I'm going to make coffee. Whew! Alright, so what we are doing is, had my coffee, feeling better, is we are taking one of these stalks and we're totally stripping it. And it has to be 1.7 millimeters, which isn't a lot. One second. Thought I was all organised. 1.7. It's only about this far down. We need 2 of them. So then we cut off all these purple ones. So 7. I'm going to get some plastic to do this. I'll show you what we're going to do. So you cut off all your little purple flowers. You kind of want them as separated as you can. And then we're going to strip these pieces of green stem. Get rid of those, don't need them. So you can throw those away. So let me get and do that and I'll show you what I've done. Okay, these are the only purple flowers that we get in this kit, by the way. And we will be needing some going forward. Not many, but some. So I'm kind of using 1 stalkish, I guess. I just clump it all together. And I'm just using the lid of my, where I keep my bulldog clips, to be honest with you. And then what you're going to do is take hold of your little branches. It doesn't matter, in fact they kind of encourage it, that you have the little nodules left on here. So you want to get hold of these and they are going to be glued up and then dunked in the purple, so it makes it like, I don't know what they're calling it, hyacinth is what it originally was, so maybe that's what it is now, I don't know. So you just want to make sure it's glued all the way around. I'm just using B7000, it's stringy but it should do the job. And get my tweezers and kind of dip it in this, around and around basically, and do that twice, so it ends up something like that. There's still a fair bit of green on there, let's get that one in there, and we have to make 2 and then just let that dry, and that's going to go in this flower bed up here at the back, so I won't be letting it dry for too long. Let's gather all this up again and we'll make a second one. This one's a bit smaller. You want to make sure you have the nodule going into the flowers. I'm just conscious that I need to keep some of the purple for a later project. Like I say, I'm surprised actually how long this one is actually taking. We should be getting quite a lot of the stuff we've made already. Oi, get off. Should be getting quite a lot of the stuff we've made already on today, that's the hope. And we've done all the lighting, now we're basically doing the garden, and then we still have to do an upstairs of the house itself, book nook, shop, whatever you want to call it. So gather up as what you can. Get them off yourself if they're attached still, like mine, and give that a moment to dry. And while they are doing their thing, I can't get rid of them, they're very much attached to me. In fact, I think I'm just going to put this straight in the garden. That kind of looks alright, doesn't it? Ish. It's not great, but I think it's enough. Right, I'm going to pop this in here, it's wet enough to stay in here, so you just want to put them in here, up to you really where it goes. I'll play with that in a second. You know, this one's not going to stay, I don't think. And again, this is like the other one where you can really decorate it as you want to. And then it's going to have loads of the pink and stuff put on it, I believe. Oh no, we've got some other stuff to do. And that will be all the crafty stuff done for today. So something like that. That one came out better. The first one came out better than the second one for sure. Right, this green stuff still wants to follow me everywhere. And I have a stand up right. And pop that one on the top. It doesn't want to come off me, full stop. So I'm going to do it a different way. I'm going to do it this way. And then I see another bit on the ground, so I'm going to grab that and put that over there. So like I said, I pretty much took one stalk to do this, and so that it leaves one stalk to do the next project, which is for, I believe, the top up here, up this area. I have no idea where it's gone right now. Let's try that. And then we got this little one as well, which can go on here. And I'm just going to get that in like so. Right, next, let's move along. So we need 2 pieces of this. When we're going, I believe, to make a rose, it's not clear in the instructions what we're doing with this. So I believe one is to make a rose of some sort, but it doesn't really show you how to make it. And one is to make what's it called? Goldenrod. There you go. You need 2 of them. I probably don't want the black lines either, I wouldn't imagine, for the purposes of this. So I'm just going to make sure that those are all gone. And the first one, you're going to cut some very thin lines some of the way down. And like I said, the second one doesn't really tell you what you're doing. So it's going to be a bit of guesswork. Maybe not quite so far down or something to make the rose. And they definitely look more yellow than this. This is kind of like an orangey yellow type thing. And we're going to be using the silver wire for this. And you can just sort of see what I'm doing here. Come here. Just turn it around. And stick your silver wire in, which I'm going to put in and then let it sit there a moment. And then I'll cut it to size. The size is actually 1.6 centimetres, so about the same size as those stalks that we just did. And it is also going to go in here, and then followed by all that pink stuff going on. Stop touching it. Have to tell myself. Okay, and put a little bit of this on there for the, basically it's going to be the stalk. And I'm going to let that sit for a moment to take. And I'm going to read what the heck, I mean, it doesn't tell you how to make the rose whatsoever, so, and it doesn't give you anything as a template, I don't think, but I'm going to go and check that in case I've missed it. Wait, let go. And then once this has had a chance to take, I will cut it to size. So, alright, I have a feeling it's one of those, I don't think we have to make it. I think it's one of these little ones. I think that's what, even though they called them the Emperor something, I think that's also what they're classing in this case as the rose. And that is also going to have a piece of wire stuck up it, basically, about the same sort of length. So I'm just going to put that in there. Maybe I should glue it first, huh? And we're going to have both of those sitting there doing their thing, and then I'll cut them both. Up you go. And right, I'm going to give that a moment to do its thing. And then, like I say, we will be using all sorts of things basically that we can use on it, like these flowers, we'll put on there. Snap. We will put some of the green that I've got at the bottom of that, what's it called? Wait, can't remember the name. At the bottom of the birdhouse. So put some of that in there. Not that you're going to see too much of that. I mean, I really think it needed more of the moss in there, but I am concerned that we don't have an awful lot left. It's going down quite fast. In this first model I've ever had that doesn't quite have enough stuff. So, right, come back here. You disappeared on me. Probably attached. Okay, let me get rid of the glue and get rid of this purple because we will be needing it again. Pick up this pink. Come back here. So we're going to be needing all that. So I think it probably actually has enough time here. So I'm just going to cut this out. Debris. Got all sorts all over here now. Got quite the pickle going on. And I'm going to cut this one because this one's about the right size already. And this is going to stick into our little flower bed as well. And I'm going to twirl this one around before I cut it, just to give me a little bit more leverage on it. So like so. So I'm going to just twirl this one around and fluff it out before I cut that wire, just to make sure that I've got something to hold on to, really. And then once it's done and had a moment, we will give that a cut. And then just get that going around. I think it's picking up everything else from my board. That's not a very tight one, to be honest with you. Could have rolled it better, I think. Could have, should have, but I didn't. Right, give that a moment to do its thing, and then I'll fan it out and chop this wire off. I'm not impressed with myself. Oh, it might be okay. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, should have had longer enough, so I'm going to get this one cut. And both of these kind of go at the front, the ones with the silver wire. So let's just fan this a little bit, make it a little bit better. If it hasn't got glue everywhere, which it might have. Right, and then we're gonna, oh, that looks alright, doesn't it? What do you think? Oops. Looks okay. You can't see it very well, can you, really? It looks alright. It's not great, but it looks okay. So let's continue with shoving things in here. So this hyacinth really wants to attach to me. Just going to put a fair chunk in here. Put some of this around if it'll let go. And you're really concentrating on the front here more than the back now. So let's see. Okay, let's stick our rose in, which I think I'm going to put here. So it leans forward a little. I can attach to that, I guess. And then our golden wand thing, which I'm going to put here. And then we can just dump some of this on there, really. I mean, you're not going to see much of this green. I'm kind of inclined to put it a little bit towards the back. little bit of pink on it, that green has. And then some of the white. Give it some sort of colour. And then some pink. Get some of this stringy one on first. Everything wants to attach to me. That's the problem with the B7000 is it's like totally invisible strings, and it's really hard to know where it went. And just when you think you have it down, you lose it. Put a little bit back here. And a bit more of this. Just cut a few off. And I'm kind of going to sprinkle them on, I think. Almost like I'm putting icing sugar on a cake. I'm going to go with that. I haven't made a cake for quite a long time, to be honest, but same principle, I reckon. Then I'm going to have to put more glue on because it's not going in all the places that I put glue, I'm sure. Bit more. Got loads of these. Got plenty of these to go around. Not sure where that went. Okay, it went at the front. Come back. It went in there somewhere. Let's see where it went. You probably do better than I. And one more, and then I'm gonna glue this all in better. So I'm gonna use B7000 again, I think. This piece doesn't want to go in anyway. Alright, bear with me, I'm going to B7000 that, and we will move on away from these fiddly little bits and put some more stuff we made. Alright, I think that looks alright. I mean, it's still got to wait for glue to dry, but the principle's there. Next we are going to be putting in our table, and it's going to go in the, I'm still stringy, these two holes with that way, so make sure the teapot's kind of away, I think, otherwise there'd be no point with there really. So that's how we're looking. And then just put, because it's only going to go in these holes, so I'm just going to put glue in here and see if we can push that down without breaking it. Maybe actually, you know, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on these other feet and have the teapot away. That one went in. This one's been a little bit more stubborn. There we go. Okay. Looks kind of cute, doesn't it? Alright, and next we are putting in, let's see, we've done the table, we're doing some flower beds, so let me get those ones. Alright, so it's these three that we need, so now we can see kind of, I see where they wanted to put them, but basically you're kind of making almost a rockery out of them. So they have this bigger one kind of at the front here. Obviously we have something else going in here, so we need to make sure that we keep clear of that. So I'm going to go start with, I can't remember what number this is, 6 I think, towards the back here because it's got the bigger flowers. It makes more logical sense to me. Again, this is one of the things you can just design the way you want to. And I'm going to do this one, which is a taller one as well, kind of have it towards the back as well. And this one will go in the front, to the side in the front, number 6 maybe, or this one's number 9, I can't remember, and maybe something like so. And then we got this one. Now we're really getting the garden. We should definitely finish the garden today, definitely, we say. I think we will. Something like so. And number 4. It's really cute. This sticker actually keeps falling off of this one, so maybe now it's going to go into position. It'll stay on this one. So you kind of just want to make sure you keep the path clear, not that anything's going on that path, but I guess it's logical. Oi, let go of me. Got to turn it around because all the it was right. Dang it. Okay, so that's what that looks like. So it's kind of really coming on nicely, isn't it? Then we are going to put in our what we made right at the beginning. Can't remember what day it was, day 1 or day 2. And here we are. Again, you've got two, these two will go in, these two will just balance the back there. And this goes, just making sure I'm not going crazy, yeah. This goes with the feet, which are going to go in at the front, like so. If I can get them in. Of course, it's going to be an effort for me. Come on, in you go. They're such tight fitting. Hold on, let me just go and struggle with this. Alright, that is in. It looks crooked to me, but that is where the holes are, so what can you do? And then the next one is the tool shed. I didn't stick in the, and you've got one thing on the bottom here. I didn't stick in the tools. I don't know if I'm going to or not. Probably should, because if this got dropped or turned upside down, I'd lose everything. Oh man, you know what? My hammer's in the wrong position. Let me see if I get that off. Oh, I can. Alright, let's get this in, and then I will worry about that. So that hammer ended up looking towards the wall, which just won't do. And we will have that on here. And then I'm inclined now to do the put the other tools in and seal them in. But I want them all kind of showing as to what they are. So I think again it's going to be like you can design it the way you want type thing. And I've got my hammer just kind of off the edge there. You can see it just down here. So it's like just holding on, and that will dry. I'll get these tools. And is this the last thing for the garden? It is. So let me put these in, and then we call it a day. Or maybe I've got enough time to do the doors. I've probably got enough time to do the doors. I think, and I could be wrong, but I think these doors swivel after you've made it. The whole thing. I think you can make them turn and open and close rather, not turn, but open and close. And I'm going to put the fork up right. Really dangerous. If somebody wanted to get their tools, they'd all hurt themselves. But, you know. And then I'm going to put this one like this, because it's plain handle. And then the other one like this. Yeah, I mean, normally surely you'd put tools the other way up, right? Because I put it on the wrong spot. Let's try that again. Because I have the handle showing on this one. Got myself all confused on my handling. So something like that. Up to you whether you glue them or not. I could just see that we're going to be moving this around and we don't want to make it move. Right, we will do the doors and then we will call it a day for today, and then we are left, I think, with the top part. Obviously there's quite a few bits to put in there, but the garden itself is, how cute is that, is pretty much done. I think that looks delightful actually. I really like it. What do you guys think? I think the flowers look nice. Do you think it needs more pink on here maybe? On this one? Or do you reckon it's okay? Like looking from that side. Kind of looks okay, doesn't it? Maybe could have done with a bit more pink. Maybe I'll think about that. All right. Okay. So let me go and get the door stuff, and we'll put the doors in. And the doors are going to go back. Let me see if I can show you. Back here and here. So I will get those done and go and get the parts for it. I haven't pulled them because I didn't think we'd get that far. So, all right, let's go. Okay, this shouldn't take us long. So, what we need to do first, let's get you out of the way, mate. There you go. Have that facing you while I'm working. How about that? Yeah, let's put you over there, how about I? All right, so first of all, we are going to take this piece of wood, which is going to go on the top. And what are we doing with you? We are putting this small strip along the edge. Which edge? Oh, this edge. Okay. So let's get that sticker on. So as to make it look pretty, I guess. So try and centre it, I guess, the best it can, because it's too wide for it. Doesn't make any sense, does it? And then when you look at the photo of it, well, it looks like it's on here. Why would it be on there? Maybe it can be underneath it. Because this is going to go onto the door tops. So you're going to see under here, right? I think it goes. So you got one, turn it upside down. Is there a difference between the two? There is. So let's make sure we put it on the right one. So if you see, this one's just got a little cutout here, and that one's got one there. And you want to make sure it's facing you like so. With the bigger one here, and that's the side I think it's meant to go on. It's very tricky. It's tricky to know. Oh, let me have a look. And then that will go down. I think that's how it's going. I actually don't know the answer to this question. Let me have a good look. Alright, so I think what it's meant to be doing is going something like that. So this is kind of the broken side. And put it along the edge, put it along here, and then it will go up like this. That's what I think. So I think we will see. Alright, so first of all, we have to glue on the glass on the back of here. So you need... Are they the same? Oh, that's just had a piece not come out. So you want it on the back of them. So I guess, does it matter which side is which? Front, back. They look identical, don't they? Seeing if I can see any difference between them. I really can't. So long as you have them both on the same side, I guess you'll be okay. And just peel off on both sides. This will be the plastic, one of my favourite things to do, I have to say. This is actually really quite good quality and quite more difficult to get off than some, but once it gets going, it's very satisfying. I'll probably be, well, no, I am. You know those when you get sunburn and you want to peel all your skin off, which you're not meant to do. Don't do it. I'm one of those people. It's just the way it goes. What can I say? So one will go on there. Let's get the other one going. I know it sounds gross. We all have our little things, right? What can I, like I say, what can I say? Probably grossing you all out thinking of it. when you say something online, you know, and you think to yourself, I probably shouldn't say that, but hey ho, that's where we are. Alright, so a tiny bit of glue to put both of these on. Couldn't find the plastic for looking. I was looking all over the show, and it was on top of the door still. Okay, wires, get out the way. I will say this, they give you quite a lot of wire, which is really nice. So it's going to go over down to here. Yeah. So just like I say, paste, both sides look the same to me, look quite transparent. You probably don't need a lot of this, so maybe a bit less than what I'm doing. And then plonk your plastic on. I'm not going to push it down because I don't want it to smudge too much on the plastic. Just have them face up the same way and you should be fine. Why am I doing it with wood glue? You tell me, guys. Why? It was still dry clear, so it's not a big deal, but still. Wasn't the idea, is it? And just little dots. Just don't use super glue for this because it misses up your plastic. And you don't want misty windows. You know, the first one of these, I think I've said in another video, first one of these I ever made, I didn't realise that you had to take off the covering on both sides. And so I definitely ended up with misty windows because it still had the covering attached to it. Alright, then all we're going to do is not put, this is not glued, so you want the glass side in this way, so it's going to go like this and like so. Doink, doink. Don't tell me I did it wrong. You know, I think, nope, I just got them around the wrong way. Duh. Okay, that's alright then. Alright, so they are now going to go into our model at the back here. These wires are very much in the way. They're nice and long. I mean, most models you get that they're nowhere near as long as that. And this is going to glue onto the top as well. So I will video it as best I can, but I need to have a little bit of access to this. And then underneath, so you don't want to get glue near where these tops of the doors are going to go in there, because you don't want those to be glued shut, because these are movable doors, which is really kind of cool. So I'm going to put my first one in here. Try to see where this is going. Oh, I see. We're going to be lifting this up. It's very long sticks to it. Because I think the door piece that we're doing fits in right up here. So it's going to go down a lot lower than what it is. So, try not to get my hand all over the glue. So make sure it's facing what I think it would be the right way. Can't see for looking. So something like that, then drop it down. There we go. Went all on its own. And push it in, she says. Ah, no, my cat fell off. Well, we will get that back in a second. Maybe I shouldn't have put glue actually on that bar, but just on the where it's going into instead. I'm making a pig's ear of it. And it definitely does go in here, which is also a tight fit. not the easiest of things to line up. Right, that's lined up that side. Alright, let me get to this, I'll get on it and then we'll put our cat back in. Okay, they are in. So underneath now, what you can do is you can twiddle them open and close. It doesn't have a stop, it's going to hit who's ever standing at the counter there. Not the counter, but the worker who's doing the coffee. This one has a stop because of the shelf. Can't go open that wide. I'm assuming they do go outwards, inwards rather than outwards. Let's just check. Yeah, I'm not going crazy. It is that way. So they are on. And now let's put this kitty cat back on. Little stinker. Try to escape. I know what it's doing. So let's get that on and we will call it a day. So I do hope that you are enjoying this build. I think it's a very cute build actually. I mean it's a lot more to it than you first think. You know, some of these builds you can put together really quick and others not so much. I think after this one then I will be looking to hopefully do a simpler one. And we will hopefully be able to do that. Do something simple for a change. Done a few complicated ones recently. It'd be nice if it was a one day, wouldn't it really? Get it once and done. Okay, so we are done for today. So tomorrow going forward we're going to be putting a ladder so that they can get to the top floor up here. We are also... doesn't stand up right at all now, of course. Let me get my stuff. Okay, as I say, we'll be getting on with the ladder. We are then going to do the top part, which will, we're then going to do a sidewall, put some pictures on, also use that coffee cabinet we made right at the beginning, which goes on a sidewall. We'll be putting the main walls on by the looks of it, so we're going to get a back wall on there, and we are also, I mean, not 100% sure that it's going to be finished tomorrow, but it's going to be darn close. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please do remember to like and subscribe, and if you have any comments I'd be more than happy to get back to you about them. Please feel that free to leave them, or you can email me at opallyhour@outlook.com, and I know that doesn't, if you're going on subtitles, it doesn't say that, so you can see that also both in my profile and also right at the end of the video when Juliet is showing her face. So yeah, take care of yourself. That is the most important thing. Take care, guys. Bye bye now. Bye.